Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of Midweek Matters. Me, James Graham, and now, as he is now known,
the Oracle. He's done it again. The Warriors, the Titans, they're my boys now. I love them. Marcelo Montoya, Josh Adekar, got the try, got the chocolates, did what I sort of do every week, which is tip our listeners into winners.
Yeah, see, I think this is going to come back to bite you in the arse, Charlie, because you've broken the rule. And you broke the rule and then it comes in, and now you're going to get that addiction to backing the Warriors and the Titans, and they're going to let you down.
Well, thankfully, the Titans have the bye this week. So, you know, the hardest days of your addiction to get over are the first few days.
Yeah.
With my withdrawals coming out.
Yeah.
And so I think I won't be betting on the Warriors either because they're playing the Sharks. I'll save it for later in the show.
Save it for later.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one, though.
It was a great tip. A great tip. And I've got to give credit where credit's due. It was well done.
Well, first of many, hopefully.
Well done. You were we were commentating on Triple M, and I wondered why you were so excited. Yeah, I did.
Well, normally I sit down. I was standing up for the last few minutes of that game.
Normally you're calm in the producer's box, and I know you didn't actually bet. Or did you bet on it?
I did bet, on the I did bet on Ladbrokes. Yeah,
I did. Yeah, good on you,
Back
mate.
myself in.
Well done. You backed yourself in. Well, mate, there's never a quiet week just when you think it's safe to get back in the water. A couple of indifferent interviews this week.
Well, your old mob, the Dragons, just find a way of getting themselves in the headlines for negative reasons.
Well, mate,
it's unbelievable.
We're going to play this clip. So I met with somebody today, and they were like, "Have you heard the interview from Moses Suli?" And I was like, "No." And then he went on to explain what he said, and I was like, "I don't believe you. Like, I just thought he was a toss." He's listen to this. So we'll play it now for our Byron listeners.
We got the same manager. My manager let me know that he was looking to come here. From what my manager said, he didn't want to come. He loved it over there mainly, but I was in the same situation as well. I didn't want to come here, but I got to do what's best for me and what's best for my footy. I guess he's coming to do the same thing. So hopefully he comes, has a crack, and hopefully he does well.
Interesting.
It's so casual. Didn't really want to come.
I wonder who his manager is. I wonder if he's happy about that.
I think it's Mario Tartek.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a huge slap in the face to the Dragons fans. Like, huge. Like, they deserve better than that. Obviously, Moses Suli there is very casual in his approach, and they'll look to justify that, but it was just so, I didn't really want to come here, and you can talk about because he was happy there. Well, the message to players is fundamentally as well. Like, this is a key message to players. If your manager comes to you with an approach that you don't want to do, don't do it. Don't go. Dig your heels in.
He didn't have many options though, Moses Suli, because he stuffed up a lot of his options to start his career. He was really high paid as a young guy at the Tigers and the Dogs, and stuffed those two situations up for off-field issues. Sort of semi-rebuilt his career at Manly, but it's not like clubs were lining up to get Moses Suli.
To be fair, he's actually, I think he goes pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, he seems to have turned the corner with his attitude.
But he didn't have heaps of options.
No, but I think he's done. He's played really well, and obviously they switching sides with him and Lomax, but he still seems to be performing. And I know at previous clubs his weight was an issue. He got his weight down. He looked fit, but then I don't know. It's just not what the Dragons needed right now. Some good news about some two hot prospects coming up from Manly. It goes from bad to worse.
Yeah. It's like any little resemblance of positivity just goes because they got pumped on the weekend. They go, oh, hang on a minute, we're getting these two young players.
Yeah.
Woodsy's going the other way. So we're replacing a veteran for two young rising stars who got a long career, hopefully, at the club.
Yeah.
And, it just becomes an embarrassment, really, because now those players, the first time they run out, everyone's going to be talking about, they don't want to be there.
But a bizarre interview, but yeah, the message, like I feel for the fans, I really do, because they care, they really do, like those fans really care, and it's not fair on them that they're hearing this sort of stuff, and then like if you're a player and you might the two individuals that came over, they didn't want to come, just say no. Simple as that. Like, it's hard. I get it. It's hard. And the factors play on you, but just say no.
100%. You know what's also not fair on fans? Sydney fans and Brisbane fans. This talk about the grand final potentially going to the MCG. So, Volandes, obviously, he loves squeezing any dollars out of governments as he possibly can. And this new one now has come out. The Victorian Sportsman has said, we can have, an extra 35, 40,000 fans there. It's an extra $4 or $5 million. And Volandes then has come out and said, it's definitely something we consider.
Yeah, well, it'd be great for tourism Victoria. Well, assuming that the Storm don't get there. But
it's such a shit experience as a fan watching it at a cricket ground.
Yeah.
And a circular stadium. It just is. You're so far away from the action. Like, it's just something that you would never see the AFL entertain the idea of bringing a grand final. I know they had to during COVID. They had to play the grand final at the Gabba. Same with we had to play the grand final at Suncorp. But you wouldn't hear us talk about it. And I think it's a bit of a slap in the face to fans saying that you'd play the grand final at the MCG. No one's going to want to go to Melbourne and watch the grand final there.
It's not going to be there.
Yeah, but then why bother? Why bother even pretending it's going to be there?
All part of the game of negotiation, Charlie.
But it's so transparent. It's obviously being done for negotiations.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm the government in that situation, say, sweet, take it to Victoria. Enjoy.
Are you planning on running?
Yeah. I'll replace Dominic Perrottet.
He's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, that's why I'll replace him.
Oh, you're going to come in.
I don't know. I'm not necessarily a liberal man, so I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
so I'm neither. Why don't you have your leading policy?
I'm an independent.
We'd be honest when it comes to dealing with sports governing bodies.
Well, I'll just say if I'm the New South Wales government, say, yeah, sweet, take it to Victoria, enjoy.
But then what Volandes would do, come out as saying the New South Wales government didn't want it. So then the voters.
Well, I'll say, of course we want it, but we're not going to be brought into stupid mind games, stupid things in the media when we know that it's not going to get taken to Victoria.
The voters would be off you.
I'd bring them round.
You'd bring them round?
I'd bring them round, yeah.
What policies?
Handouts. I'm giving a couple $100 to everyone in the New South Wales state. Just to spend on grand final tickets. So,
but then what that causes is supply.
What we're going to do?
Demand outstrips supply.
Well, this is how
then we're talking $1,000 for the nosebleeds.
Well, no, I flipped it,
and this is all because of you.
But I flipped it
Your
because
stupid policies.
This is my way of getting back at Volandes. I've said take it to Victoria. He has taken it to Victoria. Guess what I'm doing? I'm selling out Penrith Stadium, Parramatta Stadium, Accor Stadium, and Allianz Stadium, and I'm letting people in for that $200 handout that I've given them. They have to spend it on getting tickets to one of those venues. So all of a sudden I've sold 5 venues on grand final night, and I've made...
But what are you putting on there?
We're putting the grand final
on the
so it's like fan experiences at the stadium.
Oh, I thought you were going to pay some bands to come.
No, but maybe we'll have like events going on there. We might even throw in some free beers, free sausage sizzle, and all of a sudden everyone's loving life.
all of a sudden everyone's loving life. Charlie White as New South Wales Premier.
So it won't happen anyway. So pointless talking about it, wasn't it?
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. You know who can't stop talking about Brandon Smith is rugby union fellas.
I know.
It's embarrassing.
It's just bizarre. I think it's been clearly taken out of context. He's a proud Kiwi. And he's basically having that little bit of, like he said on our show, on the Jam and Cheese
But it's clearly a joke. He doesn't even need to. And also, he wasn't coming out and justifying what he said. Yeah. It's clearly a joke. Anyone who watches that and thinks he's being serious, has rocks in their head.
Yeah, and he's just like, well, yeah, it's not going to help he didn't say anything about Joseph not going to work in rugby. He doesn't think he should go. He's just basically saying, it's not going to help the Wallabies beat the Kiwis. That's it.
It kind of shows.
Beat the All Blacks. Sorry, it's not going to help the Wallabies beat the All Blacks.
It shows
that's basically what he's saying. Is like a cross country banter.
Yeah, that's all it is. And also, it's like these people that have come out. This most recent one, I forget his name, but it's like Morgan Turanua. He's like an ex-Wallaby. He came out and called him a fool for saying it's like that. Just sort of shows you everything you need to know about rugby union. It's this really uptight, elite private school sport that is so easily offended by people coming out and having a laugh. Like this Joe Suwali deal. If the only reason that Rugby Australia can afford it is because they've got rich multi-millionaire billionaires funding that sort of stuff, because their TV deal is only $30 million a year. So if you do the maths, then that means giving 5.5% of the TV deal to Joseph Suwali each year to one player. So clearly your sport is on its knees, and the only reason you are able to do this sort of stuff is because you're propped up by the elites of society. It's a very elitist sport, and they can't handle it when people even just have a joke at their expense.
Yeah, it does seem unfortunate that, but also, like, yeah, people have got an opinion, and he's his teammate, and I just don't get the. Yeah, like he's not. What is foolish about what he said? That would be like, can you pinpoint to what he said is foolish? What I imagine has happened is, it's been quoted, it's been written down, it's been presented to him. He said this, and it's like, fool.
Yeah, but then watch it if you're gonna come out and talk about it.
Well, that's what should be done. But look, we had Cheese on. He's not going to change. I don't think Cheese will care too much.
I hope he doesn't change, because this sort of stuff.
He's not going to care about those opinions.
No.
And you know what? He'll probably back it up. And he explained. Of course he hopes that Suwali he doesn't go on to beat the All Blacks. It's not going to help them. Ireland all the way. World Cup.
England. What about England?
No, mate. Ladbrokes back Ireland. They'll win that World Cup in France.
Well, they just won.
Is it in France?
Yeah, it is in France. Yeah, they won the Grand Slam as well.
I hope England win, but
yeah. Swing low.
Not allowed to sing that anymore.
Oh, why not?
It's gone. It's part of the
new world we live in.
New world we live in, mate. No more.
Fair enough. All right, last issue then before we get on to the games. Jack Wighton's going to hit the open market. I think he had something in his contract where he had to let them know before round 10 if he's taken up the option in his favour. But it looks like he might hit the open market, which is not good news for Raiders fans, but I'm sure there's a lot of NRL clubs licking their lips at that prospect.
That's a great way of looking at it. Lick those lips. Tasty Jack Wighton. I don't know if that's how I'd put it, but there'd be certainly a number of clubs that will be looking to try and fit him in. Such a talented footballer. Like, competitive. We see the impact he has at state of origin level. When Canberra go good, it's mainly because of him, especially in recent years. I really like him as a player. He's so competitive, wants to win. And look, these are the reasons why these clauses exist. Whether you like them or not, I'm personally not massive on them. If I think the strong clubs generally don't have them in, like they do they make special exemptions for people like Swalihi. But I, as a rule, never liked the player option or the club option either. Kind of bit silly, in my opinion, that we can go into. But Jack Wighton will certainly have a number of clubs going, how can we fit him in? Where can we fit him in? Is he 5'8"? Is he centre? Can he come?
He can play a bit of fullback. He's played fullback before.
Play a bit of fullback.
Yeah.
You know, the Eels need some X factor apparently. So maybe he'll fit in there. But
good replacement for the Roosters for Suoliti, maybe. I'm sure that will get the fans happy.
Well, you said it. But no, he's going to go and test himself, see what opportunities present, and he's entitled to do it because he's got that deal, all that clause in his deal. So, but yeah, to be all the brains trust around the retention and recruitment will be figuring out how they can squeeze a dollar in or out and present to Jackie Wighton to get him in.
Why aren't you a fan of player options and club options? Just wasted people's time worrying about it?
If you're on, let's say you're on $100,000, right?
Yeah.
And you're playing really well and you've got a player option.
Yeah, you're not going to take it, obviously. But then,
You're gonna try and get more.
but then you can say the opposite is.
But then,
what if you?
So it's largely pointless.
No, but what if you're but then you can look at the opposite side. Which
Exactly.
Is you do your ACL, you're on $100,000. You again are then protected. That's why players would want it. That's why managers would get it in to try and secure their client's future further.
But then just have it in as.
But then maybe the club will say, no, we don't want to do a 5-year deal. We do
Okay,
4
we'll
year,
do
4
4.
plus 1.
We'll just do 4.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I reckon the player let's just come back for a second. It wouldn't be the club that would say no to that. It would be the player that would say, oh, I don't want to sign that long a contract. I want to be able to have flexibility from this year.
They're normally player driven. It's the same.
Exactly.
The club option.
Club option would be club driven. Player option would be player driven.
So and then the clubs go, okay, well we'll offer you 100,000 that year, but we'll make the call. It's like, well, if they're playing on that or above that value, they're going to say if below. It's like, don't know.
Well, the other thing is though, if they're playing above that value, the club might say we could enact your club option, or we'll offer you this new 3-year deal at this higher money.
Yeah.
So we can keep you for an extra year, or we can offer you 3 more years. So then it allows the club to maybe keep a player a bit longer by upgrading deals. And
for me, I'm just, call me old fashioned, but just give me.
Just can't be asked with it.
This is the year. Like I had it at the Dragons, and it was like, I'm just gonna take it. Like, yeah.
Well, exactly.
I know, but
you
I know it did.
Yeah.
But just because it benefited from it doesn't mean that it's right.
It's true.
Like, if I was, for me, I don't understand them.
That's fair
I
enough.
don't understand like why a club would put in a player option or a player would allow a club option. But these things happen.
Yep. Well, footy. It starts again tonight. The best opening 4 rounds of the competition so far. And tonight, round 5 kicks off. The Roosters playing the Eels just around the corner here at Allianz Stadium. You're going to be there. The Eels, they got back on track, but the Roosters coming fresh of a bye, they'll be pretty fired up.
Yeah, and big out for the Eels. Junior Baller, he's been fantastic, even in a losing team. The Eels are so heavily reliant on him, Campbell Gillard, and Jermaine Hopgood to play long minutes. Now I think Greg Wiramu has come in to start, and then look at their bench. They're going to have to really push out some big efforts. And I think the Roosters off the bye again are just going to play at an intensity that can go for longer. Again, Parramatta, great to see them get the victory, but it's another case of a game that went down to the wire. So they've been up to their eyeballs for 360 minutes of rugby league football, like up to their eyeballs in every moment of every game they've had to be on. So I just think the Roosters will be too fresh. Coming off a great victory against Souths, they'll be at home as well. I'm seeing a Roosters victory in this one.
It does make the decision to let Nathan Brown leave seem a bit odd when you look at the lack of depth they have in the middle. And to be honest, this is the issue they're going to have all year. They have a lack of depth in all positions, really. Like their bench isn't strong, and then after that, it's a lot of guys who haven't got much first grade experience. The letting Nathan Brown go, he would be the perfect guy to bring in for a game like this. Replace Junior Paulo.
Oh, 100%. I don't know if there's salary cap pressure there. Brown wasn't getting a look in, even with these, less experienced forwards on the bench. But they're gonna have to really step up. And is Brown available for the Roosters yet? Is he?
He's not been named in the 21-man squad or whatever. I know it got cut last night, but he's not in that squad.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Roosters will get the victory.
Friday night then, Raiders Panthers. The Panthers have only won one game all year.
No, it's
a big game. They need that. This is a big game for Canberra, who've also struggled to start the year. But the Panthers really need to start figuring things out.
Yeah, they've been defending really well, which is what will please Coach Cleary, that their defence doesn't seem to have suffered too much. And they played really well against Parramatta. They did, like, ridiculously high completion. Obviously a grand final rematch. Ice cool Nathan Cleary. They're just not quite there in attack. But I think they'll have enough with their defence. Their defence will win them this game.
No Liam Martin again.
Yeah.
So he'll be back soon.
Yeah, Liam Martin gone. And Canberra missing a couple as well.
Yeah. Wighton's obviously out.
Yeah, Wighton's
That's a
out.
big loss. They still haven't got Xavier Savage in.
Yeah, I think the Panthers to defend their way to victory.
And then the second Friday night game's a real juicy one. Rabbitohs against the Storm. The Rabbitohs snuck by against Manly late with the Lockie Elias field goal and golden point. And the Storm, they still didn't look like the Melbourne Storm against the West Tigers.
No, they didn't. And I think the Rabbitohs, by own admission, would say they got a bit lucky last week. Couple of decisions.
Forward pass.
Even Graham Annesley admitted it was wrong.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny that. It's like, well, you can come out and admit that it's a forward pass. Then why can't you just have a technology where it's a clear mistake to come in and say that was not a forward pass? We're gonna review that one.
Because who defines what's clear and what's not?
Well, Graham Annesley did in his press conference.
Yeah, but he's had all...
He couldn't define anything else. He said everything else was ambiguous, but that was definitely a forward pass.
No, you're right, but I think that's a slippery slope to go down. We can't rule on forward passes. We just can't. And it's been that way for a long time, and I wouldn't like to see that. I think I appreciate Manly fans would be go, no, if we didn't, each other club would go back throughout their recent history.
How does he come out and...
honestly, Charlie, it'd make a mess. It'd be a mess.
Anyway.
If they brought in the video referee could rule on forward passes, it would be a mess.
Why? Just would take so long looking at every pass. You have to look at every pass in the lead up.
It takes, yes. So you've got every pass in the lead up.
Yeah.
Then it's going to take so long. And then if it's line ball, or it's like, well, and it splits decision. It's not clear. So
all right. Well, then
for the Manly one, I think 99.9% of people would say that's not forward. So that's a legal pass. But there's other ones where it's like, no, that's... It's grey, but some people are so defiant, like, no, that's forward. So, no, I don't think it is. But then, cool, we're not going to rule on that because we don't know.
Well, everyone takes back to the grand final. If it was a grand final and that forward pass was missed and Manly don't win the grand final.
Trust me, in my opinion, it's the lesser of two evils not to have video forward passes go to the video ref.
Fair enough.
But yes, in that game,
South.
Yeah.
They don't have a good record against the Storm.
No.
I know that's mainly in Melbourne. They don't have a good record, but the Storm are a bit of a bogey team for them.
Yeah, they are. They are, but you're not going to make me change my mind.
Okay. You go on the bunnies.
Because they're still missing a few to Storm, aren't they? No Nelson.
Yeah, no Hughes. He's obviously out.
Hughes.
No Pappenhausen still.
Yeah.
And then their forwards, obviously Big Nelson's out at the moment.
Yeah. I'm liking Souths in that one.
Yeah, cool. Then Saturday, finally we got 3 games on Saturday again. Didn't know what to do myself. At 3 o'clock on Saturday, there was no footy on. I was just lost. It's like a little lost puppy walking around the house.
Did you piss on a carpet?
Pissed on a carpet.
Yeah. Like,
and I started scratching at the door.
Yeah.
Howled, barked at a nearby cat.
Someone should have just put a replay on for you.
Yeah.
Siobhan should have just gone, sorry, Charlie. Come on. You'd have been fine. You would have been fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known. Yeah. No. Just sat.
Yeah. How did you clean up the urine-soaked carpet?
I figured it out. Can't remember. It was not my problem. I'm the dog. Yeah. So Seagulls night, 3 o'clock. It's in Mudgee. It's going to be a good game, I think. Obviously, the Knights, they got a good win against the Raiders. They needed that win. And Manly have looked slick to start the year. Yeah, again, they were, in my opinion, hard done to. Ola Kawatu, what a player he is. Like, Jesus Christ. It almost looks too easy for him. Like the way he holds that ball. You see that cat? It was like a wide receiver in the NFL. Yeah. He kind of put it in his mitt and sort of brought it in. The commentators said it was basketball-like, but it was more like a NFL wide receiver.
it looked like easy. Like it looked like he was just like doing a catch pass drill.
Well, it's the second time they've put that play on, and it's led to a try this year. That's going to be hard to stop because he's
target.
so big.
He's so tall, and he can pull the ball out the air,
and he can leap. He's athletic,
and they put those kicks on top of the half, who are usually smaller. So I think if you're coaching against that, you'd probably look to maybe swap you. Like big job for the centres to come in and rush to get that ball. Maybe look to use the half to sort of escort, and centre's going to be off on their bike, but then you leave yourself exposed to the shift. So, tough one how you deal with him. He's just red hot at the moment. He's playing so well. He'd be knocking on the door of Freddie Fittler, that's for sure. And I think him and a couple others in for a big game. I think they'll get the victory against the Knights.
Schuster has been so good to watch. The last couple of years, he's been so frustrating at times because he's always been trying the trick plays. But actually watching him, he's my favourite player to watch now because this is swagger he has. Everything is just looks cool, and like the no look, even like a simple like pass, he just like put so much flair on it.
Yeah,
and you just like I love watching
finesse.
it.
So much finesse and flair. He is good to watch. And because he's a big body at 5'8", he's, the run option will come and he'll be awful to tackle. Like when he could, that fine line between, and he's still very young.
So
and
young.
He's still new to the horse as well. So, for that kid, the sky's the limit. Like he is, he's got still plenty of improvement, and as his game at 5'8" develops, like he's got a decent kicking game as well, which is surprising to see when you think Cherry Evans is normally so dominant. It's been good to see him take over some of those kicking responsibilities as well. So another great player helping the Sea Eagles, and I think he'll be a key element of them beating the Knights this week.
All right, then the Dragons against the Dolphins at Wynn Stadium. I can't believe it. The Dolphins are the underdogs, and they've got Jerry Marshall-King coming back, Katoa coming back. Obviously, they lost O'Sullivan and Tessie New to injuries, but I don't know. The Dragons being favourites against the Dolphins, I can't see it.
I've got the Dragons in this one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Just you've got to see a response from that game, and I don't know. Like I say, I talking about teams being up to their eyeballs, like the Eels. Dolphins have been in some big games. I'm not saying they're going to fall off the cliff.
Is it to do with like the high? That was a sellout. Battle of Brisbane, they would have really built themselves up for that game and they played their heart out. But and then it is an 8-day turnaround as well for them.
Yeah, it is. But then last time they came down to play Newcastle, Newcastle were really underdone, and the Dolphins made hard work of it.
Interesting.
I think the Dragons will get the win.
Well, it's not going to be my same game multi, but I'm very confident on the Dolphins.
Really?
Very confident.
So, there'll be, obviously, if all the players want to be there, the Dragons will get the win.
Well, they don't, obviously. So, Saturday night, then the Broncos, the poor West Tigers. The poor West Tigers travelling to Suncorp. Can't imagine it goes well for them.
No. It's hard to see anything but a Broncos shellacking. An absolute shellacking. That's my same game multi for this week.
All right, what have you got then, Jimmy?
Yeah, same game multi. Broncos line, 15.5.
I think that should be, I know it's a big line, but I think that should be higher. Like I would almost go towards the 20-point mark because, actually, it's, I don't know. You never know with the Tigers.
You don't. Like, I think the Tigers actually beat them.
They did in Brisbane last year. It was sort of what started the Broncos spiral.
It was. So maybe revenge is on the cards. I don't know. Yeah, but I've got Broncos at the line, 15.5. Broncos to win both halves. And then I'm tossing up between Cobbo and Ricky anytime.
Both good options.
Like, Ricky's more of a pay.
Yeah. Ricky is paying $3.80 and Cobbo is $1.60.
I'm going to go safety first. And I know that's going to come. Basically, by me saying this, putting this out to the universe, put the house on Jordan Ricky to score, but I'm not going to back
responsibly, of course.
Yeah, responsibly. Broncos line. Broncos win both halves. Cobbo anytime.
Very good. That is $2.98. So not quite what I had last week, not quite my level of sort of $7, that you got last week with me. But
All right.
But hey, I'll save my one for a little bit later on.
You're worse than Jeremy Lattimore and his knee, like just bringing it up all the time. Like honestly, you've not shut up about this.
Can I just say though, Jeremy Lattimore is one of the funniest people ever. Like the interview you guys had was so funny, and I encourage anyone who hasn't listened to it yet or watched it on YouTube, definitely do because his stories are top level.
I encourage everyone not to. Go listen to a different interview. We can actually learn something, guys.
So you've got obviously the Broncos winning big there. Sunday then, the Sharks against the top 4 Warriors.
Yes. Sharks in this one, mate.
Yeah.
Look, Warriors are playing fantastic, defending well. But the Sharks with Nico Hines, they look like they're back.
I will say this, if the Warriors do win against the Sharks on Sunday, that's a big message to the rest of the competition that they are a finals threat without question, if they get the win.
Well, if they don't have your backing...
Well, I'm not backing them this week. I will come back to the Warriors at some point this year. Of course I will. Same with the Titans. I'm in now. I'm in.
In the sanctum.
Final game of the round then. The Doggies against the Cowboys. It's a tough one to call this. The Cowboys have lost Jeremiah Nanai. Still no Scott Drinkwater.
Yeah.
They looked clunky against the Titans. To be honest, if the Titans didn't have those injuries to Foran and Brimson, the Titans probably were going to win that game. They were traveling they looked really strong at the start of the game. The Bulldogs...
Hey, the Bulldogs, I've heard a whisper. And I don't know if it's true because I've not seen it anywhere. I think Josh Reynolds might be back.
He is?
No, I've not seen it anywhere.
Well,
you'd surely know about that. If Reynolds was coming back, there'd be press everywhere. I'm not seeing it.
Not seen anything?
No, not seen anything about him coming back.
Well, I can confirm he's in the 14
Are
jersey.
you joking?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow, good on you,
Good
Josh.
on you, Josh.
I've not been seeing it anywhere and people talking about it.
Yeah.
He'd hate that. He'd just be like, oh, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Nah, to be fair to him, I'm really pleased that he's back. It's been a big journey for Josh, and delighted to see him back. He'll do a great job off the bench, and it puts a smile on my face. I'm really proud of him.
Well, you're obviously going to be tipping the Doggies.
Absolutely.
So
the worry for the Dogs is the middle of the park where they're decimated with injury. But if they can handle Tamalolo, go a long way to winning the game. I think, like you said, the Cowboys haven't hit their full straps just yet. So I'm backing the Dogs.
I'm backing the Dogs as well for my same game multi. I think the Dogs at $1.80 at home against the Cowboys is pretty juicy. Nanai's a big loss. When they're struggling in attack, they'll try to find him close to the line, and he has scored so many tries in his first couple seasons now. And I'm going to go the Dogs to win. And funnily enough, even though I've just said how important Nana is, I'm going to go the guy who's replaced him to score a try, Helam Lukey at $4.40. So that two of them, you get $9.99 on the Ladbrokes app. So
hang on, you've gone Dogs
and Helam Lukey for the Cowboys to score a try. I think Helam Lukey's actually really, really good young player, athletic, big body, and we haven't seen a lot of him because he did his ACL towards the end of last year. But when he was coming off the bench, he looked really strong for them. And I reckon these next couple of weeks, Lukey will take that Nanai spot, and then when Nanai's back from suspension, they'll push Lukey into Hess's spot on the other side.
You've been speaking to Todd Payton.
No, I wish. Funny story though about Todd Payton. So on my birthday last year, Todd Payton called me and started singing happy birthday. But obviously it wasn't meant for me because we're not, like, I've only ever texted him for random Triple M interviews. He'd have no idea it was my birthday. So he started singing happy birthday. And I kind of like let him go with the song because I was like, and then I was like, oh, mate, this is Charlie, correct, that you're singing happy birthday to, but I think you've got the wrong Charlie. And he's like, he said to me, I can't remember what the other name was. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm Charlie White. Funnily enough, though, it is my birthday today. And he was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, yeah, it's all good, mate. See ya. I wonder if he remembers that, but it was like last year or 2 years ago, something like that. So, speak to my birthday, Todd, if you're listening.
Oh, that's brilliant. I can't believe you kept hold of that.
I haven't told anyone that story.
Yeah, well, it's out there now. That's brilliant. I can't wait for him to come on Triple M again and ask him, can I get a birthday sing-along as well, Todd? That is brilliant. Well, what a way to wrap up this week's Midweek Matters. That's a great one. Enjoy the football, everyone. It should be... it's been a cracking season so far, and hopefully this continues on the path of tight games and close encounters. Thanks again for listening to Midweek Matters. That has been round the houses again. Wow, Charlie White with a quite unbelievable Todd Payton story. As usual, thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, leave us a comment, review us, all that jazz. Thanks again.